Hey guys, I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube, and today we're going to chat a little bit about back to school. And we have a new pattern release, and I have lots of whips and some stuff that I got back from the framer and some stuff that I did take to the framer. So lots of stuff. The next statement I'm gonna make is like so embarrassing, but like I have never woken up late to take my kids to school. Emma is in 10th grade. Yesterday, first day of school, didn't wake up. So we started off with a bang with waking up late, but we got the kids to school on time. And then today I forgot to wake Emma up, and she was about to kill me. She's like, "Mom, you just don't have your stuff together." And I was like, apparently I don't. So if y'all have any funny back to school stories, y'all can put them in the comments. It's crazy because we have four kids in 3 schools and 2 sports. So that means that I have to have all 4 at school at a different time instead of 3 because there's twins. So even the one that goes to the same school as his twin, he has to be there 2 hours early. It's crazy. So if I seem a little frazzled today, maybe I am. It's been kind of a rough week, and I just don't usually wake up late. And then the nanny even called me, the kid's nanny, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you woke up late. Kevin told me." I'm like, "He told you? Like, why does everybody need to know?" She's like, "You never wake up late." And I was like, "I know." And she was like, Kevin was so shocked. I'm like, what's everybody gonna tell on me? So I'm just gonna kind of jump right in and show you. We have, at the end of the year, we added this series. It's called TypeFACE Christmas, and there will be 3 different typeface. And so we're going to start off with the Santa, and we're going to release, so we released this one this week. We're going to release the second one in September and the last one in October. So if you're going to make this, it's a pretty big piece, so you can see, I mean, it's pretty big. You will need 3 completely separate packs of the 14 count, and we use chalkboard black. It would also look good on just a black. I do think, you know, maybe on a navy, the red might fight a little bit. But it is a paper pattern, and I'll kind of show you. That's how big the font is. And so what we have is just the pattern, the fabric, and of course, this is 14 count, what I always use. Cheryl stitched the sample, and then we have a thread pack. Now, when I was looking at this, you definitely are going to use some of the same colors throughout, but because this uses so much thread and it's a big piece, you're really not going to be able to count on saving colors to move to the next one, which sometimes we do. The patterns, all 3 patterns are going to be the same color palette, so they're going to be on the same fabric. And then we took this one to Hobby Lobby and just had it framed, and we had them leave like a 3/4 to 1 inch border so that it could kind of float a little bit. Now, of course, you could bring in the frame, but we wanted it to kind of have, you know, a lot of the black showing, and we did put glass on this. And if you want to see or guess, you can guess in the comments right now, and I can kind of maybe tell you, maybe not. You can see sneak peeks, and there's a little sentence on the blog that'll give you a hint of what the next 2 are. So these would go really nicely together. Like if you put all 3 of them together vertically or horizontally on a wall, they would look great. It does come out slightly rectangular. And so it's not going to fit a standard frame. But if y'all have any questions, let me know. I think he's so cute. One tip I will give you is I'm going to be stitching this in September, and I'm going to do 4 parts. And what I'm probably going to do, I'll probably do all the font one week, and then I'll probably do like the top, and then maybe the middle, and then the bottom. But one thing that will help you with this is when you're doing the hat, what I would do is I would outline the very edge and then fill in. And then Jordan's gonna zoom in a little bit, and I wanted you to see, you can really, I know that glass is kind of glaring, but right here you can really see Cheryl stitching and how she keeps the 2 strands together, and you get a lot of variegation that way. Whereas when I stitch, I just use the loop method, but it's got a lot of variegation. And this one we use Classic Colorworks, and we did stitch the eye and part of the mouth just so it would stand out on the chalkboard black. And I'll be interested to see what everybody else does. Of course, if you wanted to stitch this on a lighter fabric, your beard wouldn't stand out. So definitely you'd have to be medium to dark for this one to work. But super cute, really, really excited about this one and excited to stitch it. So very exciting. And we wanted to go with just a very simple frame because I felt like if you put a frame on here that was too ornate, it would take away from the design. And now I'm going to show you lots of the things I've been working on and just stitching. I do not think the minty green opalescent will work for the typeface. You will have, it's too many colors, and yeah, definitely I would not recommend that. So I started working on Stitchy Stars. I know we talked about this last week. So in 2021, Lori released Stitchy Stars, which is very Americana. And we had Lori change the aqua and the navy to a medium and a dark. So color 562 replaces the light blue, and then 505 replaces the dark blue, and then the red, pink, and white stay the same. And so each week for 7 weeks, I'm gonna do a star and a square. And if I ever have like a ton of time, I'll just do the whole border. And one thing that you could do that I forgot to mention last week is you could make this frame any color. So if you really like red, you could do red, you could do pink. This frame color could be anything. In fact, it could even be white. So there's a lot you can do with this. I decided to just keep mine green. I kept mine green just because I wanted to keep it the same as the pattern, and I don't have a lot of green in my house, and I thought, well, that'll be good to have something a different color than normal. So that's Stitchy Stars. And this is 14 count oatmeal, and I stitched on the mottled side. And then also Lori's, I stitched on the Stitch Card Set M. And so on this one, I stitched the teacup. No, I didn't. I stitched the kettles on, and I don't feel like my flowers really showed up very good. I feel like in person they show up, but on the camera they're not showing it very good. And I feel like I'm doing better with my back stitches, so I'm very excited about that. And Lori always uses 2 stitches or 2 strands on her back stitches, so I've been doing that. And I've been using the thread pack. I think I've pulled 1 out of here. The rest I already had colors for, just because Lori does always use 347. You know, she uses a lot of the same colors. So I bought this, but I've only pulled 1 thread out. So that's kind of cool that I haven't had to card too many things. Now the next thing is You're the Boss of Your Own Quilt. And so this is the sample that Cheryl stitched with. And we did get a question on Cheryl's, how she stitches. Cheryl does stitch in rows. I don't think she stitches, she stitches in rows, but she does 1X at a time, and she keeps her strands together. So this is the sample that Cheryl stitched, and this is designed by Lori. It's called You're the Boss of Your Own Quilt. And we have shown the dates before. We don't have to show them today, but I am ahead 2 blocks. I really can't put this one down. So this week I'll stitch 2 squares. The next week I'll stitch 2 squares, and then I'll probably stitch this and then just be done. I kind of can't stop stitching. I'm almost to the point where I'm gonna just stitch the words, stitch this, and then have 2 more weeks left because I am very excited to finish it. I have a spot in my sewing room where I'm gonna put it, and so I'm kind of anxious to get it done so I can get it on the wall because I want to see if it fits. I actually might need to take that sample home to see if the frame that Lori used when she framed this will work. And I do stitch from paper patterns. I don't use a tablet. I don't even own a tablet, actually. I can barely use my phone. But I mean, I think it's kind of cool when people stitch from tablets. I don't own one. My kids do, but I don't. The next thing I worked on was kind of a change of plans. So, just to tease a little bit, I showed you this brand new holiday Hallmarks last week, and I had said in the video that I was going to stitch this as part of Stitchtober. And this one is stitched on the marbled white pine board, which you can see it in person a lot better, but we stitched with the lines going horizontally. And like I said, we said we were going to stitch, or I said I was going to stitch it during Stitchtober, and there's been a change of plans. So this friend of mine, who I publish patterns for, has a brand new pattern coming out. It is a much requested fall pattern. You guys could probably rack your brains to try to figure out what it is. I'm not going to say what it is. That's my only hints that I'm going to give you. But Cheryl finished the piece last week, and when she brought it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so awesome. I want to stitch it all right now. So what I decided is I'm going to do this now, so in August, and I'll do page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4. And then Stitchtober, I'm going to change it up and do something we haven't done on this channel yet, where I try to do a very, very large piece in 1 month. And it's just going to be stitching. Probably what I'm going to have to do is just dedicate a certain amount of hours to stitching each day, and we're going to see, we can maybe make bets and see if I can finish it. I actually, because it's so large, I don't think I can finish it in 1 month, but we'll see. So I went ahead and threw this in the mix and got this done. This didn't take very long. I was kind of thinking you guys could give me your opinion. I'm going to do these in green. Well, actually, I think I've already done the cup. But I was thinking, should I do the pumpkin in an orange? Or should I leave it in green so it's all green? So we'll take a little poll and y'all can let me know what you think. I was thinking I was going to change it to orange, but then when I went to stitch, these two are leaves. So I was like, no, I can't do that. And then I was also at home, and all my fancy floss actually lives at work. I don't have any fancy floss at home, so I couldn't have changed it if I wanted to. And I'm using Gentle Arts Grape Leaf and Cast Iron Skillet. And I did check on Fall on the Farm, and I have not seen a release of part 9, which is the final part. So this is a 9-part series that Diane of Little House Needleworks released in 2022. And I have just been stitching 2 hours a week, and so I'm all the way caught up here. I haven't seen a sneak peek of part 9 yet, because I was going to show you if I did. But I did want to let you know on September 6th, which is the first Tuesday in September, I'm going to do a Stitchy talk, and I'm going to do the back stitches. And we'll probably have to do something super up close. But it is going to be harder for me to do the back stitches because this is Aida and not an even weave like a 25 count. And I will be using 1 strand instead of 2. But I will say doing back stitch on top of already stitched stitches is a little bit harder because it gets kind of bulky. So I'm a little bit nervous about doing it on camera, but I'm going to do that. And if part 9 comes in before September 6th, what I'm going to do is just try to get that just all the way stitched. I'm going to be taking this one, Vintage Housewives and Flea Market Baskets, to Lori's house. I'm going in November, and I'm going to take those 3 to her framer just because I think her framer will do an amazing job. So I got that done. And then last night, I did this. So this is Hands on Design Season 2. And this is the wonderful sheet that Denise did. That's the conversion from Diane's colors Kathy's Colors. I'm like, God, I got the wrong name. Kathy's Colors to Our Colors. And so I actually was going to try to get all of August done last night, but somebody showed up late. That wouldn't have been me. That would have been Kevin. And so I ended up taking one of our kids. Anyway, yesterday, the last 2 days, I can tell you, I am a very together person, and the last 2 days have been quite a hot mess. Peyton came in my room last night, and he was like, I need to be at drum in 10 minutes, and Dad's not here. Can you take me? And I was like, sure. And then when I drove him there, he wanted Chick-fil-A, and he always does a fancy order. Then I ordered Chick-fil-A. We get home, and he's like, Mom, what did you order me? I didn't even do his order right. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a hot mess. And yeah, I've just been kind of a mess. For charity, we have raised 100. We're going to look up the amount that we've raised, but we are going to be releasing we've raised $101,000. So with me, Kevin, and Mark Dunn's, it's going to be $121,252. So that's going to be super awesome. And we are going to be releasing we're not going to have the floss and the fabric ready for charity until later in the year, probably December. But you will get to see the quilt, and I will tell you the cross stitch is based on the quilt, so you'll have a little bit of a clue there. August 20th, which is in 3 days. And then the next question that we got from Pamela is perfectly right on time. And so one thing that I did this week, we had Pansy Patch Quilts, Lori Pengelly. We had her on as a guest earlier in March, and I loved when she sent all of her pieces, and I really fell in love with this series that's called Peppermint Lane. Now, I did see a sneak peek. She's going to have a new one that's fall based, and that the first two are going to be coming out in September, so that'll be fun to look forward to. But what I was going to kind of show you some behind the scenes things that I haven't shown you in the past. So Denise, Cheryl, and I are currently working on all of the colors for the first house. And so I'm going to go ahead and stitch it. And I started this on Sunday. And I started stitching, and what we picked, I had to change 2 of the colors. And so just wanted to kind of show you that we put a lot of work into the exact colors and changing it and tweaking it. Now, all of this is like the windows aren't stitched, the trim's not done. Like all of this is not done. But when we do those color guides, we really take a lot of time to put in there a lot of detail. And so, for example, last night when I was stitching, all I have to do is go to that month or that house, and we've got the symbol, what it is. We have all these notes. You definitely want to read the notes, and then the new colors. And so just to kind of like give you a hint is she had a red house with a burgundy trim. Well, that didn't work. And then, so we had to change that. And then the flowers, I really wanted more of a contrast between the flowers. So I made the flowers pink, where in here they're red and they blend in more. So we just put a lot of work into this, and I know all of you guys are waiting and waiting and waiting. So if you're waiting, you can go ahead and buy the set of patterns for Peppermint House. It's called Houses on Peppermint Lane. So you can buy that series now and be ready. Now the fabric, I decided to use Oatmeal 14 count by Lori Holt. And if you're going to do the entire series individually, you need 5 packages. Now, if you're going to do this as one piece, we'll get information to you on what to buy on that later. Because right now we're kind of in the design, like coloring. I did want to let you know I'm doing these as one piece. You can also do it as individual pieces. You can also do it as one piece, but we're not going to do that. And I'm leaving off this part, the little house, the little trees and snowflakes. So this is how ours is going to look. I will tell you I'm changing the color of the words so they pop out more. And I'm not going to tell you the color because what if I stitch it and I don't like it, I might change it. But my plan is on this one, I'm going to take it. Now I did stitch a little close to the edge, but that just is like the story of my week. I've had a kind of a weird week. But what I'm thinking on this one, and the reason I kind of stitched it close, is I'm thinking that I will get a frame. I'm going to frame it pretty tight, and I'm going to do a very ornate brown skinny frame. So I do consider that when I start, like, am I going to, like on the Santa Claus, I left a bigger border so that we could let that space kind of breathe in the frame. And on this one, I already know I'm going to be really tight. So I kind of just started there. But I just wanted to kind of show you, we've never really shown you one like in progress. And I know it's probably frustrating because you want the thread pack now and you want all of that, but we have to go through and like fine tune everything and get all the floss from Diane. We are using Classic Color Works, and also had to see, like for one house, how many skeins of this red did I need? Things like that we try to think through. They are thread packs, but they're starter packs because I'm only going to stitch one before January, and then the other 8 I'm going to actually stitch in 2023. And then Cheryl, so excited to show this. We had a customer request come in 2 weeks ago, and they wanted Pumpkin Alphabet, which is a pattern from Little House Needleworks. It came out in 2014, and she wanted to stitch it, so we bought it. And Cheryl was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cute!" So she stitched this, I think, yesterday. So she's using Sweet Potato Weeks Dye Works, and I know that's not what Diane had listed. I don't know which one Diane had listed, but basically, let's see. Cheryl is stitching on Cappuccino 32 count Belfast linen, and it's a silk that she had. Diane had a Belle Soie color listed, and Cheryl already had this. Now we're going to zoom in on her stitches, and I'm going to talk a little bit about more her stitches. So she keeps 2 strands together, and she does 1X at a time, and she has a lot of variegation. If I stitch the same thing with my loop method and rows, mine would look totally different, and I'm okay with that. And so I just wanted to kind of show you, and she'll finish this and we'll get to see it finished next week. So super exciting, and it's always fun. That's the thing, is you can always go back in your stash and see, do I have a pattern? Even if it's from 8 years ago, it still might be popular. It still might be cute. Like, you can still stitch it. So if you're ever bored one day, just go through your stash and see what you have left. Now I'm going to show you some pictures. I went to the framer on Saturday. And so I just wanted to kind of show behind the scenes. So you can see I have Pop of Summer and Pop of Winter. I think I have Pop of Winter framed. And then I took the frame and the new piece and said I want the exact same frame, and I want the same like placement from the edge. And then at the top, you see my Heart in Hand doodles. I brought one of those and my 2 new ones, and I said I want the same frame and the same spacing. And it doesn't have to be exact, and my framer knows that, but I just take so much the framer that they're not going to know what frame I'm talking about. And then I did take the freebie that Lori did, and the next photo shows I had a really hard time picking a frame. I wasn't sure what to do. I want to put this one on the wall that I just created with all my Stitchy stuff. So the framer actually found this one, and I thought, okay, that's great. Because I was thinking, you know, it's not going to work with white. I thought gray might work. That didn't work. Brown wouldn't work. And I did want a color because that wall does have everything. All the frames on that wall have a color. So I was really happy that I was able to get that. Okay, there's a question on there. Can you show the back of Cheryl's work? And he can zoom in. But yeah, that's the back of her work. And when okay, then there's a question from Diana. When Cheryl uses two strands together, do you mean she pulls them out at the same time and doesn't separate them? She pulls them out separately and keeps them together, and the reason she does that is just so she can keep the variegation together. She does pull them out one strand at a time. And then when I was at the framer, I picked these two up. And I was excited. Yesterday, I got an email from Summer House Stitch Works with the next one, and it's going to be called Autumn Provides. So all four will be out as of September, and so I will have all four done. And I don't know where I'm going to put these. They don't match my house at all. What's so funny about this is totally not the style of my house in any way. And I don't know where they're going to go. Sometimes we have this mishmash of a game room, and sometimes I think I should just throw some stuff in the game room to make it look even worse than it already is. It's like the only room in the house that I don't like. And then Kevin says, well, you never go in there. Why does it matter? And I'm like, I don't go in there because you have mixed match furniture and it's ugly. Sorry, I'm a little spicy today. That's Spring Awakens. And then Winter Cometh. And when I was at the framer, because I do forget what I have where, she said I have 4 more pieces there, and then I dropped 4 pieces off. So I have 8 more. And then I'm sending all of the pieces that I did for Priscilla to Priscilla for her to finish those little small ones. And then speaking of Expo the Expo is it's an online event at the end of August. I think it's like in a week and a half, and cross stitch designers will be coming out with a ton of new patterns. So because of that, Kevin did a big, huge sale, and he put a lot of really old patterns 50% off. And the reason we do that is we have to have room for all the new items. So if you're looking, Ashley went ahead and put in a link to all of the patterns Kevin put on sale. Most of those patterns will not be reordered or restocked. We need that space for our new patterns. And we are actively loading anything that we get an email from that we're ordering on our Coming Soon page. So if you want to, you can go to our Coming Soon page. You can even search by cross stitch. And then you can even sort by newest, and it'll kind of put on each day. We're putting about, I don't know, about 12 patterns on a day. So you can kind of see what we are anticipating, and all of that will not ship until later in the month. And then to go along with that, we have a sale on the Stella Light. And I think it really matches our set here because Sunflower September is behind us. So, and I think this might be the color that Priscilla uses. So we have a sale with Stella products, and it is $60 off. So normally this is $349, and the sale price is $289.98. And you don't need a coupon or anything. You just go to fatquartershop.com, you add it to your cart. The sale will end Sunday, August 21st. And the lights, if you want to see the light. Yeah, and then it'll do, you can go up. You can't see it, but it is changing temperature. So that's more of a yellow, more of a white, and more of a natural. And you can go up and down on the, and then you can do memory. And then what's great about this is this tells you how much is charged. So if you're gonna go, like you can take this without, it doesn't have to be plugged in. You know you've got 60% charged. And then this is actually a charger. So you can actually put your phone on here and it'll charge your phone, which is super awesome. And I think it's pretty cool. This would totally match Kevin's office. So there's that. I'll just kind of leave it over here and we'll move it. And I'm just going to show you some new items that we got, and then I'm going to answer all your questions. So this just came in on Friday. So if you pre-ordered the 2023 planner, which is one of my favorite projects that we do with Lori every year, is shipped to you on Friday. So actually showed up Friday and shipped Friday. And I always keep these fancy boxes for something. And really cute, and it's a way for you to plan, and not only plan, but plan and I guess be cute at the same time. And Lori does have some stickers with Riley Blake that are coming out in October, and she will be showing how she decorates the planner with those stickers. And I've never used stickers to decorate a planner, so I am going to decide when they come in if I'm going to use them or not. But I did decide, every year I spend several hours, it could be up to 8 hours, just planning my whole year. So I'll go through and put in the live streams for the whole year that we have planned. And so I decided I would just film that. I'm a little nervous about filming it because my handwriting is horrible. And so y'all will probably say, I can't even read what she wrote. I have always had bad handwriting. It's always been one of the things that drives my mother crazy. Like, it drives her absolutely. I won't even sign anything around her because she always comments how horrible my signature is and how I'm so messy. But just wanted to show you this. You will get a video coming up with me planning it. We're going to do it November, December, because by then I will have started, I will know at what week I'm going to put peppermint houses in, etc., etc. So also, I had Teresa make this for me. This is, if you're a bag maker, this is the crochet panel that Lori made, and basically it's a bag panel. If you just search 12045, and with this panel you can make a bag. And so I just thought I would show you. We put a different fabric on the inside, but this is the fabric that it comes with. But with one panel you can make a bag, and it also makes this. So I just thought I'd show you because I had Teresa make it for me. And I know some of you guys, even though you're cross stitchers, also make bags. And then we restocked all of Priscilla and Chelsea's ribbon that we had made. So we had the ribbon made, it sold out right away. We totally were unexpected for it to sell that fast. So we now have the full sets of black back in stock, and also sell these individually. So you can buy them either as a set or individually. This is the one that sold out first, just so you know. And we got prototypes in of the red. So we had red made for them. This will be shipping in November. You can click to be notified on our coming soon page when it comes in. And then, speaking of Priscilla and Chelsea, these are their new patterns. And so October shipped, if you were in the club, it shipped out. Now I'm going to be stitching this one, and I'll have it done by the end of September. And then they have a Let's Go Ride a Bike for Haunted Trail and Black Cat Bakery up on a pedestal. These are available as paper patterns. They will be available as PDFs later. Now, last week I did mention that one of their Let's Go Ride a Bikes would be part of Stitchtober. And now it's not because I've changed my plans, but that still will be stitched. So sometimes I do change my mind, and that's okay. That I changed my mind, but just so you know, I'm still going to stitch it. It's just not going to be as part of Stitchtober. And then these two will be part of my Sunflower September. These are their new PDFs. This one was released this morning, and this one was Friday. And last year I stitched all of the Sunflower September on black, and I'm going to be doing the same thing this time. And this one will be okay. I might have to change my accent to not be black. I'm not sure. And here he has navy pants and a black crow. So I might have to change the black. I might not. Maybe I will. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I was actually planning on calling Priscilla for some advice. But I do want to keep mine on the 14 count chalkboard black, because all the ones behind me, like this, are already on black. And I don't want to, I want them to all kind of go together. So I'm just going to keep them on black and figure out what to do with floss. Obviously that will be closer to September when I figure that out. But it's always fun. The Oh Dear is now available as a PDF. Little House Needleworks, we'll zoom in a little bit. This is number 23. So they did the hometown holiday, and at one point we had a pack of patterns, and then we discontinued it because they keep adding and it's just too expensive to offer. But this just came out, and then I have a pop-up of an image that I saw yesterday or 2 days ago. I saw this on Little House Needleworks Instagram page, and so they have come out with 2 new patterns. One is called North Pole Express and one is called North Woods Express, and we ordered them. They're going to arrive, we hope, next week, and they will come with the pattern and Classic Colorworks floss. All you have to do is add the fabric. So we did put these on the coming soon page. So if you're interested in them, just click to be notified, and then when it comes in, you'll be able to order it and get it really fast. We also got some new patterns from Brenda Gervais, Autumn's Acorn Gatherings, or Gathering, Be Ye Thankful. So those 2 are new. And then Tree of Life Sampler is also new, and there's a little story on the back. This is based on a vintage sampler, and there's a little story on the back of the pattern talking about the original. So if you're interested in that, that's also on the back. And then now I'm going to answer all of your questions. Jenny says, I know this is FlossTube, but I have been watching my calendar for the charity quilt. Yes, that's going to be up on Friday. Can we get a hint on the October project? Yes, I did give you a hint. So it's a friend of mine, and it's fall. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Do you have a date on when the next Christmas stitch along will begin? So the typeface that I showed in the beginning, I'm going to stitch that as a stitch along. You can join me. I'm going to do that in September. And then I'm going to do the next one in October, the next one in November. And then we have Jolly Housewives in December. Christmas time. That's
September, the Christmas time free mystery.
The Christmas time free mystery. Yes, it keeps getting pushed back. We're hoping September. The fabric's still not here. So we did update the dates on social media. On the top of my head, I don't know, but yes, we are doing it. The good thing is it's a very small stitch and very easy. So even though it is pushed back, you still are going to have plenty of time. And it's really cute. I mean, it's going to be worth the wait. And if I had to go back and do it, I probably would have just released the cross stitch and not waited on the fabric and just had them be standalone separate. If that happens next year, I'm just going to release the cross stitch when I plan to. Okay, this question, Liz, came in. I'm going to show you my stitched piece and then with it. She says that she loves the original fabric color. It looks pinkish. Can I say what it is? So if you see these together, she's saying this one looks pinkish. I think it's more brown, but I am going to look and see what fabric she lists. Model is stitched on 36 count Oaken by Picture This Plus. So we will order, someone will email me and I'll increase the order on that so that we have more of that color in stock if you want to stitch on that. So this one is Oaken by Picture This Plus. Will I be stitching Doodles Halloween? No, I'm not going to stitch that one because it's very, I did the seasons, and so I kind of already did. I don't want to have like 2, and I like the seasons better. So now that doesn't mean I won't in the future. Where can we find Kimberly's color changes for season 2? You can find them on the blog. We release them monthly. If you want the entire thing at once, you have to buy the thread pack. and we have it printed within the thread pack. How do I check on product request forms? It's for larger pieces of hazelwood or parchment fabric. Email Ryan, RHIAN, at fatquartershop.com and just say, can I get a delivery date on these? And she'll give you an estimate. Pamela says, last week on one of the live streams, you were showing work on a piece. We welcome spicy. Are you going to do Black Cat Bakery? No, I'm not going to do Black Cat Bakery. Stitch Quarterly will come out in September. What Christmas pieces are Kimberly and Cheryl currently stitching? Cheryl is so busy stitching. We have her stitching so many models that she hasn't had a chance. So I'll have to ask her what she's going to do. And she usually just brings it in as she does it. For Christmas, I am going to be stitching Jolly Housewives. I'm going to do the Christmas Time Mystery, and beyond that, I haven't committed yet. I think I'm like so packed with like Sunflower September, Stitchtober. Like I'm so packed, I haven't decided yet. I love when you show behind the scenes with framing. Oh, thank you. And you know, I'm so bad at that. I almost forgot. I almost left the framer without taking photos. I'm not great at like social media. Jenny says her classic Colorworks floss gets knotted. I have some beeswax. How do I use this? I'll show you. So can I have some thread? I'll show you. I'll show you how I do it. Now I'm not an expert. Okay, so this is Lori's beeswax. And this is from one of my bags. So what I do is I just take one strand off because I use one strand at a time. I loop it together and I run it through once. And usually what I do is I'll run it through like this part first, and it already got stiffer, and then I'll run the rest through, and I usually just pull it right on the kind of taut on the end. Let me just do it the way I normally do it, like that. And I only run it through once because it will get, if you run it through too much, you might get some gunk on it. If you get a little bit of beeswax, you just go like this. But see how much straighter it is? So I use it all the time. And especially if I'm having a lot of knots, I will use it. And then when I put my thread back on, I will put it like this. And then, oh, pressing cloth for cross stitch. I'll just put this one separately because then I know that I have used beeswax on it. Have I used a pressing cloth? We got more of those in and sold out, and we ordered them again yesterday. They are called Yarn Tree pressing cloth. Any tips on how to make a French knot? I am horrible at it, but on the September 6th, is that the day? September 6th, I'm going to do some colonial knots. And I might leave them and I might take them out. I'm horrible at it. I don't do the French knot, I do the colonial knot, but I am not a pro. How would you clean a finished cross-stitch project? I actually don't ever clean them. I just kind of iron them and put them in. If you have used hand-dyed floss or hand-dyed fabric, it might run a little bit, so that's why I don't do it. And I also, before I start, I will wash my hands before I start. And if my hands are getting sticky or something, I'll just get up and wash my hands. And I just try to keep everything in a bag, like a project bag, so I keep it clean. Will beeswax help with threading the needle? Yes, because it makes the thread very stiff. It does make the thread darker, but it's only slightly, and I have been known to use beeswax sometimes in a project and sometimes not, so I just use it randomly, and to me it doesn't make that much of a difference for it to matter. if houses on Peppermint Lane are on oak and 36 count, what is Kimberly using if doing a large piece? I haven't gotten that far because right now we're just doing the colors. But if it was me and I was doing one piece, I'd do 14 count. I'd buy like a big 1 yard cut of 14 count oatmeal and use that. Will I be making a quilt for Sunflower September? No, I am currently for quilting working on trying to finish up all of my blocks for the word quilt, whatever that is. What's it called? Santa's quilt along. And then I'm also working on Moda blockheads. Piggy. Oh, Piggy's good. Oh, I had to. Kevin actually gave me a compliment on Piggy yesterday, and I was like, what? So, our sprinklers were broke, and so Kevin had I guess a sprinkler head company come, and he said Piggy was really good, and I was like, oh. But I did make a decision. I had to tell Kevin, our nanny only works part-time, so she doesn't come to work till like 2 o'clock, but it's so hot in Texas, and I can't leave Piggy inside because he, if he has to go to the bathroom, he's gonna go, so I won't leave him inside. So I don't really, and then the daycare doesn't open till 8. Well, I have to be at work at 8. So I made a deal with the owner of the daycare to come pick him up every day and take him to daycare. And I told Kevin, I was like, only because it's like so hot. So I'll probably, he actually likes to be outside, but it's just too hot. So I had to do that for now until, well, actually I called the daycare to see if they would just let me drop him off early. I'm like, I can just put him in the back. Like, I can just drop him off early. And they were like, well, we'll just pick him up. And I'm like, well, that's even better, but okay. So to tell Kevin, are there plans to do new videos for advanced stitches for Cross Stitch University? If we do anything, it'll probably be 2024. Oh, this is a great tip from Michelle. If my finished project is dusty, I use a can of air spray on it. That's a great idea. How do I keep my wax from getting dried out? It does get dried out. That's a great point. So I always keep it in the tin. Even if you leave the wax out overnight, it will get very dry. I would also keep it with this wax paper. After about a month or so, I usually just start a new one because they do get dried out and they kind of get nasty. Some people, I did read online, put it in the microwave to get it less dry. That is kind of scary for me. So I haven't tried that, but that is what some people do. I read that on Reddit. I don't know anybody who personally has done it. I'll have to ask Lori if she's done that, but I have not tried that. Any plans to stock more colors of 25 count even weave? Sure, all you have to do is go to the product request form and put the colors you're interested in, and if they're available and we can get them, we will order them. And on those product request forms, we try to write you back if it's a yes or a no, and try to give you like an estimated date. Kathy says, can you still do the loop method when using Classic Colorworks? So you're not technically supposed to, but I do. And anything you have seen me stitch that I show you is done with the loop method. I will never do 2 strands, stitch over. I don't have time. The variegation doesn't matter to me. Anything I ever show you from CHERYL'S, she does 1 stitch at a time and keeps her threads together. Do you have a calendar showing the start date of all the stitch alongs? I'm a bit confused as there's so many. So we did add a section to our blog with some of that information. So that should be on our blog. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly where it's at on the blog, but we do have that. And just remember, we're really fluid with all of our, like, I don't ever have like hard dates. Like, for example, you're the boss of your own quilt. Like, I'm just like, can I finish it? Just because I want to be finished. Sometimes I go faster. Now I am going to have to change my calendar a little bit. So one thing that I'm going to have to do, so we're in August, right? Yeah, we're in August. I still have Sunflower September to do. But in September, what I am going to do is try to get all of the things that were supposed to be done in October done in September on top of Sunflower September, so that October I'm just doing one project. We'll see if that works. I don't know that I have the time to get all that done. We'll see. Just so you know, I have 4 kids. Emma is now on drill team, and I will be going to every football game, even out of town. I have a son that's in middle school. He's going to be playing football, and that's going to be on Monday nights. I have another son playing football. He's going to be on Saturdays. So my Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays completely shot, meaning I'm not going to really be able to do much. And then I have one of those sons is also playing basketball. One of the other sons is maybe going to play basketball. He hasn't made a final decision, and it also depends if they make the team. Have another son in band. Now he doesn't really have very many things yet. So I will say that coming up, I'm going to have like very little time. The one good thing is that Emma now has a ride some places. She's almost going to have her license, so I won't have to be a taxi there as much. But I will say that y'all might see a little bit less stitching in the fall because I do have kids and they're kind of all over the place. And my kids are just like me, like they're go, 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 go. Like I also have a thing that I believe with parenting is I keep my kids as busy as I can because they're less likely to get in trouble. So the one kid that doesn't do sports, he gets dragged to everything and he gets so mad, and we're like, well, you didn't want to do sports, but you're going to have to come. And so we just let him bring like a book or whatever. And I will say we had to buy tickets to the football game. It was $900 for 6 tickets. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, really? This is insane. But at least I have a seat. Is Ada the brand name or a type of cloth? It's the type of cloth. Within Ada, there are different brands like Swigart, Fabric Flare, Witchell, things like that. Okay, guys, so I'll be back next week. I will have lots of stuff to show you. And I will see if the person stitching the charity quilt, if maybe there's a little corner of that we can sneak peek next week, because I think a lot of you are interested in seeing that. So we'll work on getting that for you, and I'll see you next week.